news on those games. Liverpool never been top of the table under Rafa Benitez, but a home win over Derby will put them in contention and moving into top spot. Damien Johnson's at Anfield.
They're heading that way, Ray. Liverpool 4 now, Derby 0. Liverpool have given Derby a stark lesson about the reality of life in the Premier League. Xabi Alonso's floated free kick gave them the lead. It had a touch of good fortune about it, but the second and third goals were top quality. Ryan Babel's world-class feint and finish after a sweeping move made it 2-0. Fernando Torres beat two men and the keeper after Mascherano played him in for number 3. Just moments ago, Alonso got his second, sweetly finished in the bottom left-hand corner. Pennant has been excellent on the wing for Liverpool, subbed a few minutes ago to a standing ovation from Anfield, the most rigorous judges of a player's ability. 4-0 to Liverpool.
1-1, lost 3 for Fulham ahead of a London derby with Tottenham. Same story for Spurs, 1-1, lost 3. Defeat for either side would be bad news. Roger Johnson reporting.
1 and 3 are two figures which feature in the scoreline at the moment, Ray. It's Fulham 1, Tottenham 3 here. And Tottenham on course for their first away win of the season, although they could have killed Fulham off long before 18-year-old Gareth Bale scored his first Spurs goal to make it 3-1. Yunus Kabul gave them the lead, scrambling in a first-half corner. Dimitar Berbatov showed a clean pair of heels to lash home the second. They then squandered a hatful of golden opportunities before Fulham pulled one on back just before half-time through Clint Dempsey's powerful header. More close shaves for Fulham after the break, but Bale has made it 3-1 and should have given them the cushion.
43 points last season was Newcastle's lowest in a Premier League campaign. A new chapter's underway under Sam Allardyce, and Newcastle were unbeaten going into a home game with Wigan. Steve Sutton reporting.
It's 0-0, Ray. Michael Owen started. He could have had a hat-trick. He's had one goal disallowed for offside, but I guess the main talking point that overshadows everything, the red card given to Wigan's Kevin Kilbane right at the start of the second half. An aerial challenge with Alan Smith looked innocent for all to see. They both went for the same ball. Smith got it on the back of the head from Kilbane's head, and a red card from Steve Bennett for the Wigan player. Obafemi Martins has come on now, so that means Newcastle have Owen, Martins and Amiobi up front, but it's 0-0.
News now from the Reebok, where Bolton are playing Everton. Dan Walker reporting.
Yes, Ray, it's been a game about two strikers so far. Everton's debutant Yakubu put them ahead 10 minutes into the first half. Nicolas Anelka volleyed an equaliser for Bolton 10 minutes into the second. And the Wanderers have really tested Everton since equalising. Anelka provided a wonderful opportunity for Kevin Nolan to put them ahead. His float, his cross was delightful. Nolan's attempted side foot from 6 yards was wretched. Tim Howard's made a couple of good saves as well. Stephen Pienaar's just put one wide for Everton. It's a feisty match and it looks like we're in for a good finish as well.
Let's move to the Riverside. Middlesbrough and Birmingham will both expect to get something out of this fixture. Harry Grayson reporting.
Well, Borough's splendid form shows no sign of abating, Ray. Rockenbach, Luke Young, Mido and Ali Adair twice could have scored more goals against a really poor Birmingham side. Only Capo's fine run and shot showing anything for Steve Bruce's team. Rows and rows of empty seats here. The question is, why? Good stuff.
Only the 5th game of the season, maybe, but every Premier League point is precious. Dominic Cotton's watching the Reading-West Ham match.
Yes, Ray, it's Reading 0, West Ham 2, and a great Craig Bellamy finish early on. Opened this game up and got the Welshman's West Ham goal tally going. Reading had chances to level before the break, but failed to take them. And early in the second half, they fell further behind. Matt Etherington hammering into the roof of the net after a neat 1-2 with Bellamy. Reading continue to press, but all their efforts have so far been repelled. We've got 18 and a half minutes to play.
Well, it looks like Liverpool are going to the top of the table for the first time under Rafa Benitez. Liverpool impressive today, or is it Derby that have been poor?
No, they've been very impressive. I've been very impressed with these signings. I mean, Torres is a tremendous signing, but they look a different side this season, Liverpool. I mean, Pennant's playing really, really well. Torres is looking good. They're looking strong in the midfield. I mean, Alonso, you know, you think he can't get around the football pitch, but in a 4-4-2, he's played exceptionally well today.
There's all the talk of at Tottenham about an uncertainty over Martin Jol. Is that going to be put to bed if Tottenham win this game at Craven Cottage?
In my view, not quite. They've got a very important game against Arsenal coming up. I always said if they could get 4 points out of these two fixtures, Fulham and Arsenal, then people can get on with their work and let Martin manage. But Spurs seem to be best, you know, on the edge.
Les, would you agree that this last 15-20 minutes very important for Newcastle? Because if they draw 0-0 in this match, they might think same old story. But this is the sort of game with home advantage. They should go and take the points, and that's with due respect to Wigan, who are performing well.
Yeah, they are. They're defending really well. They've lost a player. Wigan have lost a player now, and what they're able to do is throw everyone behind the ball and say, "Come and break us down," you know, and won't get hammered for it because of the fact that they've gone down to 10 men. Newcastle find it difficult to create chances at this moment in time because we're going to play with so many men behind the ball, and it's the one hoodoo they'd like to get rid of. They've not scored at home for about eight months, so they'd like to get rid of that record.
We can get a point out of this. They'll be absolutely delighted. To Scotland, Rangers took a 100% record into a home game with promoted Gretna. Ian Turner's at Ibrox.
Yeah, with 13 minutes left, Rain, it's going to be 5 wins out of 5. I'm almost certain for Rangers. We've had goals from Chris Boyd, from Andy Webster. They're in control at the moment. It's been a good effort by Gretna. They've not been disgraced by any means. They've worked hard. They've closed Rangers down, but they're going to be in the wrong end of a defeat today. Rangers 2, Gretna 0.
Celtic play away at St Mirren tomorrow. Let's hear about Hibs' game with Inverness. Hibs kicked off unbeaten. Inverness without a point. Played 4, lost 4. Brian McLaughlin reporting.
75 minutes gone, right. It's Hibs 1, Cally Thistle 0. Stephen Fletcher's penalty after 2 minutes, the only goal so far. But Cally Thistle really pushing hard for what would be a deserved equaliser. Craig Brewster scored 2 here last week for Aberdeen. He could have had a hat-trick here today for Cally Thistle. The home goal leading a charmed life. 15 minutes left. Hibs 1, Cally Thistle 0.
In the COCA-COLA Championship, there was an early kick-off between Sheffield Wednesday and promoted Bristol City. Dave Woods watched the game at Hillsborough.
Sheffield Wednesday remain pointless after 4 games and rock bottom of the Championship. Contrast their emotions with newly promoted Bristol City, still unbeaten in the league. The winner came after only 3 minutes. Brian Wilson's forceful shot from 18 yards, arrowing past Rob Birch in goal. Birch had little else to do in the first half, but Wednesday were nevertheless booed off at half-time for failing to turn dominance into goals. There was little improvement in the second half for Wednesday, though new signing Etienne SAS, on from the bench, showed some real quality. Not enough to lift Wednesday. Bristol City are riding high.
Charlton just taking the lead away at Crystal Palace. Svetolov Todorov in 74 minutes. Crystal Palace 0, Charlton 1. That would be a terrific result for Charlton. Then get 3 points there. Let's go back to Anfield. Damien Johnson.
Well, it's a rout now. Liverpool 5, Derby 0. Andrei Voronin with the goal. It was a shot parried from Dirk Kuyt, parried by keeper Stephen Bywater, and there was Voronin to follow it in. 5-0 Liverpool.
Rotherham 1, Chester 1. 2 teams starting well in League 2. Bristol City top of the table in the Championship as things stand. But to Vicarage Road now to hear about the Watford-Ipswich match. Good start to the season for both clubs. Andrew James reporting.
Ray, it's a goal for Watford, and it's Tommy Smith, the goal scorer, to add to the first half goal from Darius Henderson. Watford comfortably in control. Henderson could have had 4 before being substituted a moment ago to be replaced by the new man, Nathan Ellington. Ipswich, in honesty, have been a total disappointment. Mark Poom has yet to make a save from any of the Ipswich players. They've been disappointing. Watford have been comfortable. They lead by 2-0.
Last time Crystal Palace and Charlton met, the result relegated Palace out of the Premiership. Andy Barber's watching this afternoon's Championship match at Selhurst Park.
Well, it's 1-0 to Charlton at the moment. 74 minutes. Svetoslav Todorov, the substitute, had only been on the pitch for 5 minutes. Real indecision by the Palace defenders. A real goal poacher's goal from Todorov. Charlton looking for a first away win since January the 20th. Charlton lead by 1-0.
Back to Anfield. What a day this is turning out to be for both sides, but in different ways. Damien Johnson.
6 of the best for Liverpool. A poor back pass from a Derby defender. I think it was Andy Todd. It was pounced on by Torres. He scored his second. It's Liverpool 6th. 6-0.
Chesterfield 2, Wickham 0. Let's go to Reading. Dominic Cotton reporting.
Yes, Reading have a chance to get back into this game. They have a penalty. Kevin Doyle is at the spot after Dave Kitson was felled by Rob Green, and referee Howard Webb pointed to the spot. So we're standing by. Doyle approaches the ball and is saved. His effort is saved by Robert Green at full stretch, making amends for the earlier mistake. West Ham fans go crazy. They reckon that's the 3 points sealed, and the Reading fans keep quiet. That was a really great chance for them to get back into the game and try and nick a point, but as it stands, 13 minutes to play and West Ham lead by 2-0.
Looks like Reading going to their 3rd defeat of the season. Back to the Championship. Stoke and Wolves had both won 2 out of 3 Championship games ahead of this afternoon's match at the Britannia Stadium. Mark Webber reporting.
0-0 so far, Ray, and if you bought a ticket for this so-called football match, then I'd speak to Trading Standards on Monday, because you might have a trade description case. Unbelievable that a side so strong so far could produce this tempestuous damp squib where the ref has blown his whistle more times than a drunken raver. The affair has been littered with lots of running, but extremely poor finishing. Not even Freddie Twinkle Toes Eastwood could have you up for this one. 0-0 so far.
Rangers' 100% record is going to remain intact with a fourth successive Premier League win. Roger Johnson's at Craven Cottage, a goal.
A goal for Fulham as well. It's Fulham 2, Tottenham 3 now. A deflected shot from Alexei Smertin just outside the penalty area. Left-footed, lashed it goalwards. Young Pyo Lee was diving in to try and block. All he succeeded in doing was looping it high up over Paul Robinson and into the back of the net. It was a brave challenge, but a good goal. Is there a chance of a fight back now? 12 to play. It's Fulham 2, Tottenham 3.
If Tottenham let this slip, their supporters will be absolutely sickened. Back to Ian Turner at Ibrox, another goal.
Yeah, it's all happening for 2 goals, in fact. Ray, Carlos Cuellar had just put Rangers 3 up with a powerful header from a Barry Ferguson free kick, and John Darshville had just shot a deflected shot in for number 4. Rangers 4, Gretna 0.
Back to the Championship, finishing 10th last season was Colchester's highest league finish ever. They went into a home game with Burnley unbeaten so far this season. Robin Bailey's watching this match.
They're going to lose this one. Colchester 1, Burnley 3, and surely Colchester need a goal very quickly. Just 11 minutes on the clock if they're going to get back into it. Burnley are now comfortable after that Andy Gray penalty. Andy Gray, in fact, could have had a hat-trick. Terrific glancing header. Brilliant save by Dean Gherkin. So it could be 4-1, and really Burnley are comfortable at this stage. It's Colchester 1, Burnley 3.
Well, the tragic death last Saturday of Queen's Park Rangers teenage professional footballer Ray Jones has totally overshadowed anything and everything in regard to Rangers' season. Adam Parsons is at Loftus Road for today's game with Southampton.
Where it is QPR 0, Southampton 3. This game was billed as a tribute to the young striker Ray Jones, killed, as you said, in that car crash a week ago. And perhaps the emotion of the occasion has got to the home players. QPR have improved in the second half, but in the first they were very, very poor. Gregor Raziak scoring twice, Southampton squandering plenty more chances. Bradley Wright Phillips headed a third. Rangers have still not really had one decent opportunity. All this on the day when Bernie Ecclestone and Flavio Briatore took over as owners at Loftus Road. QPR's players and fans would have loved a good display today. I'm afraid they haven't got it.
Billy Printer confirming there's been a goal in the Scunthorpe-Sheffield United match. Promoted Scunthorpe and relegated Sheffield United both had 4 points in 3 games going into this match. Alan Biggs has all the details.
It's now Scunthorpe 2, Sheffield United 1. A much-needed goal has been pulled back by Danny Webber, but before giving Scunthorpe due credit for this lead, it's been deserved. It has been a poor pedestrian performance from Sheffield United, deservedly behind to Andy Crosby's volley. Then a former Blade, Jonathan Forte, created a goal from Patterson, the replacement for Sharp, the much heralded striker here at Scunthorpe, Billy Sharp, who this afternoon has been totally eclipsed. He's also been substituted, but his team are on the way back through Danny Webber's goal. Scunthorpe 2, Sheffield United 1.
Brighton don't have a good home record, and they could be going to another defeat this afternoon. Southend arrived there having lost 2 out of 3 matches, but Nick Bailey with a goal from 12 minutes from time may well be giving them 3 points. Stranraer 2, Dumbarton 0. Port Vale have just taken the lead away at Bournemouth through Luke Rogers with 8 minutes to go. Back to the Championship, both Norwich and Cardiff could do with a second league win to boost their fans' confidence. David Garrido reporting.
And neither side might get it, Ray. Norwich 1, Cardiff 1. Peter Whittingham prodding the ball home from close range for the visitors to cancel out Simon Lappin's 12th minute strike. Whittingham replacing the ineffective Robbie Fowler, and he could have had a second moments later, but David Marshall kept out his shot with his feet. At the other end, Gary Doherty heading just over the bar for Norwich, but the biggest cheer of the afternoon so far for the returning Darren Huckabee, who's come on as a sub, almost scored twice in his first league game this season, but it's Norwich 1, Cardiff 1.
Falkirk haven't started well. They've lost 3 of their 4 games. Dundee United have had a decent start, and they're winning so far this afternoon. Next up to the Hawthorns in the Championship to hear about West Bromwich Albion Barnsley match, having lost 2 out of 3. And Baggies fans didn't expect their team to drop more points today. Ivan Gaskell reporting.
And I don't think they're going to. 8 minutes left. West Brom 2, Barnsley 0. Texera and Beattie scored the 2 first-half goals that separate these sides. It's been a more even contest since the break. Both keepers have saved well in the last few minutes. Kiley from De Silva, Muller from Miller. West Brom's £3 million man Chris Brunt came off the bench for his debut and promptly miskicked a corner. I hope they kept the receipt. West Brom 2 up.
Having parted company with manager Martin Allen in midweek, and John Rudkin is the caretaker boss in charge of the Leicester City side, playing away at Plymouth. Details of the match from Hamish Marshall.
Well, this side have defended pretty well here and they've contained Plymouth to just a few chances and a 35-yard effort from Bruno Ngotti as the closest that Leicester themselves have come to scoring. It hasn't been the most inspiring 90 minutes. It's a classic case, I think, of a game really needing a goal. But with less than 10 minutes left, one now could be decisive. 0-0.
Developments in the Scunthorpe-Sheffield United match. Back to Alan Biggs.
Ray, it's all turned in the space of a few minutes here, and it's been turned by one man, Danny Webber, who scored twice for Sheffield United from the substitutes bench. 2-2 with Scunthorpe. It's a harsh scoreline as far as Scunthorpe are concerned. For my money, they deserve to be ahead, but they couldn't defend the long ball, which was headed on. Webber got in behind the goalkeeper, Joe Murphy, poked it home, and it's Scunthorpe 2, Sheffield United 2.
Another goal at Carrow Road, David Garrido.
It's Norwich 1, Cardiff 2. Peter Whittingham, who scored the visitors first. His corner headed home by Roger Johnson, who'd earlier been on the floor receiving treatment after a clash with one of his teammates. Cardiff have turned this one around. It's Norwich 1, Cardiff 2.
In League One, the only 100% record going into today's games belonged to Orient. Opponents Northampton arrived looking for their first win. Mark Bishop reporting.
Leyton Orient 2, Northampton Town 2. Barry Hearn stated in the programme, Ray, you wanted to see crowds of 6,500 at Brisbane Road, just over 5,000 at this one, that contributed to a real 4-goal thriller. The League One leaders coming back from 2 down at half times with goals from Gray, and then Makawindari has registered the 5,000th league goal in Leyton Orient's history. Chambers has hit the post. Bunn has made 2 terrific saves. It's 2 apiece at Brisbane Road.
In League Two, unbeaten Brentford under Terry Butcher this season through Ricky Shakes with 6 minutes to go may well have scored a winner away at Bury. Bury 1, Brentford 2. Also in League Two, it took Macclesfield 20 league games before they won last season. Steve Lee went to Moss Rose to see if they can do it in Game 4 this time round, and on the back of 3 draws. Early season leaders Darlington are their opponents.
It looks like it's going to be another draw for Macclesfield. It's still Macclesfield 0, Darlington 0, 5 minutes left, and everyone has had a chance, an opportunity here, but it just hasn't gone anywhere near to a goal being scored. Darlington had substitute Ian Harty with a close-range effort, saved well by Tommy Lee. Macclesfield missed a penalty in the first half. It's one of those games, it's still 0-0.
Tense final minutes at Craven Cottage. Roger Johnson reporting.
Fulham asking all the questions. They trailed Tottenham by 3 goals to 2 after being given that lifeline by Alexi Smertin. Tottenham were 2-1 ahead at the break. They went 3-1 ahead through Gareth Bale and looked to be cruising, but Smertin's deflected shot has given Fulham a chance. Fulham, in fairness, have scored with just about everything they've put on target. Tottenham should be out of sight. They've hit the woodwork. They've had an outstanding save by Antti Niemi to deny them, and a clearance off the line. But it's Fulham who are pushing now, but they still trail Tottenham 3-2.
Tottenham are going to let this slip.
Well, they've just brought on Michael Dawson to shore it up at the back and brought out Steve Malbranck. If they do come away with 3 points, and they should do, because the reporter was absolutely spot on in his analysis, they need to thank Robbie Keane, who's played a superb part in this performance. 2 superb balls, one for Berbatov, who finished it off brilliantly, and one for Gareth Bale. So he's come off after 75 minutes, by the way, as Robbie Keane, but he's played a very important part.
Is the sending off in the match at St James's Park going to be a key issue that people are going to discuss this evening and tomorrow?
Yeah, it certainly will be, because the referee sent him off, and from what the pictures we've seen, we're not quite sure why he sent him off. We think it's because he thinks it's violent conduct, because that's all we can think of. But he's gone clearly to head the ball, and he's mistimed his header, and he's clashed heads with Smith. It was Kilban. And unfortunately, the referee sent him off, and we're still not quite sure why he's done that.
If we can get a draw at St James's Park this afternoon, given the circumstances, they'll be very pleased. Back to Dan Walker at the Reebok.
Yes, Ray, we're in for a really tight finish here. Still Bolton 1, Everton 1. Since Everton brought on Thomas Gravesen and Leon Osman, they've been far more fluid in midfield. Andy Johnson's had a great chance, saved by Jussi Jääskeläinen. Leon Osman has missed a sitter as well. And at the other end, Meite saw his header well saved by Tim Howard. Just a couple of minutes for one of these teams to maybe get a winner.
East Fife have kept their 100% record intact in Scotland. Full-time whistle starting to come in. East Fife 3, Forfar 0. Brighton 2, Southend 2. Brighton fighting back. Nicky Forster with an equaliser 5 minutes from time. Carlton, Bolton against Everton. Is there a likely winner, or is this going to run out a draw?
I think it's going to run out a draw now. Everton are asking a few questions now at the moment, but I think that Bolton have played well this afternoon. I just feel with Everton, they've signed Yakubu. It's been a great signing for them, but every time they go to a 4-4-2, they don't look as solid and they look like they're going to concede goals. But Bolton, incidentally, who've trying to go to a 4-4-2, trying to play more attacking football, have gone back to Sam Allardyce's way and they look more solid.
Goal in the Colchester-Burnley game, Robin Bailey.
Burnley were cruising, but it's Colchester 2, Burnley 3 now. Adam Virgo headed the second goal for Colchester, and there is a little bit of pressure applied. So Colchester could yet get a point out of this. Colchester 2, Burnley 3.
Famous last words by Carlton Palmer. Goal at the Reebok, Dan Walker.
Yes, and it's Everton who have it for all Carlton was saying about Bolton's solid defence. They've been done by a set piece. Gravison with the ball in. Jolyon Lescott jumped highest, 6 yards out and into the bottom left-hand corner of Jaskalainen's goal. Surely that's the winner for Everton.
Carlton, what you meant to say was you thought Everton were going to get a winner late in the game.
No, basically, right? David Moyes has got it right. He's gone to a 4-4-2. Great signing, Yakubu. And I knew Jolyon was going to come with a winner, but Bolton have got to sort it out at the back. They're not defending properly.
Full-time whistles going all round the country. We'll be going to Ibrox very shortly, but let's immediately go to St James's Park. Steve Sutton.
Yes, it's Newcastle 1, Wigan 0, and the goal that I dare say the whole country wanted to see. Michael Owen with a header off an Obafemi Martins cross from the right wing. Owen in behind the defender to the ball first, into the net from close range. Newcastle 1, Wigan 0.
Well, this is terrific for Sam Allardyce, terrific for Michael Owen.
It certainly is, you know. He's looked dangerous all game, especially in the first half. I say all game, in the first half he's been a bit quiet, but Sam has brought Martins on, he's brought Amiobi on, and he's playing Michael Owen, so they've gone for 3 up front. And typical Michael Owen goal. You know, this is the thing about him. Give him opportunities, he will score goals. And a great run across the 3 sides. He scores goals and he got across the near post.
You have to feel sorry for Wigan.
Desperately
They've been
sorry.
disciplined. They've done a tough job today, and the referees cost them, I feel.
Final whistle at Ibrox, Ian Turner.
Rangers 4, Gretna 0, 5 wins out of 5, another 4 goals, and what a start to the SPL campaign for Rangers. They made a slow start today against a Gretna side who made them work hard for their win, but in the end, class told. Boyd, Webb in the score sheet. A new signing, Stephen Naismith, got a late taste of the action. Rangers 4, Gretna 0.
Drama at Craven Cottage, Roger Johnson.
It's Fulham 3, Tottenham 3, 30 seconds of normal time to play when Chris Baird launched a long throw in from the left. It was punched away by Paul Robinson. Diamansi Camara tried his luck with an overhead bicycle kick just inside the penalty area, and he found the top corner. Craven Cottage erupts, and Fulham have pulled off an unlikely comeback here. It's Fulham 3, Tottenham 3 as we move into added time.
Well, that is a quite incredible acrobatic overhead kick there, but Paul Robinson, should he have got that?
Question mark over the keeper. He can't shift his feet. It's gone out a good distance. He's got to be 14 yards out, and Robbo's got to be shifting his feet there and tipping that over. It seems to take an eternity to go back in, doesn't it?
Dagenham and Redbridge may well be getting their first victory in the Football League. Paul Benson has scored with 2 minutes to go at home to Lincoln City, having been promoted from last year's conference. Dagenham and Redbridge may well be getting their first win. Final whistles also going. Swindon 1, Crewe 1, Morton 0, Queen of the South 1, Clyde 1, Dundee 2. 4 whistles going all round the country. Scunthorpe against Sheffield United, Alan Biggs.
An incredible finish to this game, Ray. It's now Scunthorpe 3, Sheffield United 2. Scunthorpe were 2 up. United came back twice, both goals from Danny Webber, but since then, 2 players, 1 from each side, sent off. Derek Geary of Sheffield United, Cliff Byrne of Scunthorpe, and they argued all the way back to the tunnel after a clash between the pair. Following the resultant free kick, Matt Sparrow stabbed home from close range to put Scunthorpe back in front, and we still have time added on. Scunthorpe 3, Sheffield United 2.
Final whistle for Brian McLaughlin's match between Hibs and Inverness.
Hibs 1, Cali Thistle 0. The home side deserved of all 3 points, but they were pushed all the way by a gallant Cali Thistle side, rejuvenated by the return of player boss Craig Brewster. Stephen Fletcher scoring the only goal from the spot after just 90 seconds, but Cali had ample opportunities to equalise, none better than after 38 minutes when Brewster was brought down inside the box, but Romanian striker Marius Nicolai's penalty was deflected onto the bar by keeper Makalambi's outstretched right foot. Hibs 1, Cali Thistle 0.
Hibs unbeaten. Inverness have lost all 5. Final whistle's gone in the Middlesbrough-Birmingham game. Harry Gratian reporting.
A really impressive, fluent display by Borough, Ray, and in Meadow, who got a standing ovation when he was substituted just a few minutes before the end, and Ali Adair. They have real flair and invention. Both could have scored at least 2 each. As it is, David Wheater and Stuart Downing scored the goals against Birmingham, who were very poor. Only Capo and McSheffrey showed any problems at all for Schwarzer. Referee Rob Stiles, by the way, back in action with a very solid display. 22,900 here today. Not very good. They certainly deserve more.
First clean sheet of the Riverside in 12 matches. Liverpool, top of the table for the first time under Rafa Benitez. A hammering this afternoon. They've really rammed it to Derby. Damien Johnson.
That's right, Ray. Liverpool 6, Derby 0. Rafa Benitez's side back to the Premier League summit, and in some style. 2 goals each for Fernando Torres and Xabi Alonso, but the highlight was Ryan Babel's first goal for Liverpool. A sweeping length of the field move. Babel picked it up on the edge of the area and produced a brilliant feint and finish. For the record, substitute Andrei Voronin netted the 6th. Liverpool impressive all over the pitch. Mascherano tigerish in midfield, Jermaine Pennant outstanding on the wing. This was a really harsh lesson for Derby about life in the Premier League. Their afternoon probably best summed up by Craig Fagan's air shot when well placed in the 6-yard area. The test for Liverpool now, can they maintain a challenge at the top?
Vinnie Printer confirming final whistle is gone at the Reebok, and it's a terrific away win for Everton Football Club. Dan Walker.
Yes, Ray, David Moyes was delighted to sign Yakubu this week, Sammy Lee to hold on to Nicholas Anelka, and the 2 star strikers both made an impact today. Yakubu had the easiest of tap-ins in the first half, Anelka volleyed in a sweet equaliser in the second. Bolton could have won it, but Everton came strong once Thomas Gravesen and Leon Osman came on, and although Andy Johnson and Osman spurned chances, there was still time for Jolyon Lescott to head a Thomas Gravesen corner into the back of the net 2 minutes from time. On the 10th anniversary of the Reebok Stadium, it's been a really entertaining game, and it's been an important Everton win.
Latest in the Reading-West Ham match now, Dominic Cotton.
Yes, and in the final minutes of time added on, Matthew Etherington has just scored his 2nd goal of the game. Those, incidentally, his first 2 league goals in 18 months. Racing clear, he hammered the ball past Marcus Hanneman for 3-0. West Ham very happy. Reading fans already started going home.
Final whistle at Craven Cottage. What a game, Roger Johnson.
It's finished Fulham 3, Tottenham 3. Diamansi Kamara's 90th minute overhead kick, rescuing a point for Fulham from a pulsating game, which in fairness they could have lost by a cricket score. Kabul and Berbatov put Spurs in control. They should have had more before Clint Dempsey's header gave Fulham hope. Gareth Bale's goal again seemed to have put Spurs clear, and saves, goal line clearances and the woodwork prevented further Tottenham strikes. Alexis Mertens' deflected shot again gave the home side a lifeline before Kamara popped up right at the death to salvage a point and send Craven Cottage into raptures. It's finished Fulham 3, Tottenham 3.
Unhappy Martin Jol, punch thrown away to the Majeski Stadium, and Egert Magnussen delighted. Not so Reading, conceded 3 last week, conceded 3 this week. Dominic Cotton reporting.
Yes, it's finished Reading 0, West Ham 3, and could West Ham's summer signings be starting to gel? 1 for Craig Bellamy and 2 for Matthew Etherington mean another great afternoon for West Ham and their travelling fans. Kevin Doyle's missed penalty was the talking point for Reading, whose stuttering start to the season continues.
Good start of the season for Watford in the Championship. At home to Ipswich today, Andrew James.
That's right, Ray. Watford back in business at the top of the table after 2 defeats this week. Darius Henderson's early goals set them on their way. Henderson should have scored a hat-trick before being replaced by new signing Nathan Ellington. So Watford getting a 2nd goal with Tommy Smith late on. They're back in business, but news of an Ipswich revival after 5 years of mediocrity may be premature. They failed to force a single save from Watford keeper Mark Poom.
Colchester's unbeaten record. Let's hear from Rodney Bailey about that.
Yes, 6 minutes of extra time, but Colchester are beaten. Colchester 2, Burnley 3. 2 goals from Andy Gray, making it 5 in the season for him, and 1 from Alan Mahon, who was the outstanding player on the pitch for Burnley. And Colchester's goals, Virgo and earlier Kevin Lisby, gave them hope, but really they were outplayed overall. Burnley deservedly winning this one.
Let's hear about a derby between Stoke and Wolves from Mark Webber.
0-0, a decade of football at the Britannia, and this must be the worst game the stadium has witnessed. Spending more time proving their machismo than working on the final ball. Both sides got a point, but the purists would say they didn't even deserve that. 0-0.
100% record for Leeds, -15 is now down to -3, 4 points on the bounce. Leeds 1, Luton 0. Huddersfield have won away at Millwall. Norwich against Cardiff, David Garrido.
It's finished Norwich 1, Cardiff 2, Ray. Robbie Fowler and Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank may have 347 career league goals between them, but it's the man who replaced Fowler in the second half who's made the difference today. Peter Whittingham equalising for Cardiff after Simon Lappin had put the home side in front, and then Whittingham's corner headed home by defender Roger Johnson. Norwich fans leaving Carrow Road scratching their heads because they dominated most of this game, but it's Cardiff who have their first win here since 1971.
I'm not sure football means that much to Queen's Park Rangers at the moment, given the sad death of one of their players, Ray Jones, last week. Home game with Southampton today. Adam Parsons.
QPR 0, Southampton 3. Plenty of emotion after the tributes paid to Ray Jones, but unfortunately the match that followed didn't go well for QPR. Completely outplayed from beginning to end. 2 goals for Gregor Reziak, 1 for Bradley Wright-Phillips, and frankly Rangers offered very little in return. The watching Flavio Briatore, who's just helped to buy this club, left 10 minutes from the end shaking his head. It's ended QPR 0, Southampton 3.
Let's hear from Andy Barwell about the Crystal Palace-Charlton match.
You could call it an inspired substitution from Alan Pardew. The Charlton boss had a plan, it worked. A 1-0 win here. Svetoslav Todorov was the fox in the box. The Palace defenders couldn't clear it. Hudson and Court got into a pickle. Todorov pounced. Palace 0, Charlton 1.
And Mark Bishop watched Orient against Northampton. Orient went into this match with a 100% record in League One.
2-2 it finished at Brisbane Road, Ray. Leighton Orient's quest for the first time ever of 4 consecutive victories at the start of the season is over. A point apiece in a wonderful game. The home side coming back from 2 goals down at the break. Great goals from Chambers and then Makandawari with the club's 5,000th league goal. 2-2 it finished at Brisbane Road.
Still playing at St James's Park. Steve Sutton will talk us through the closing stages.
Actually, Ray, the full-time whistle as you come over has just blown. Newcastle win by 1-0. Michael Owen with a goal on 86 minutes, a close-range header off Obafemi Martin's right-wing cross, and that's about the only thing that could probably save this game from the headlines being about a referee, because 2 strange decisions by Steve Bennett. Why he didn't give a penalty in the first half when Titus Bramble clearly handled in the Wigan box, and then right at the start of the second half when 2 players, Kevin Kilban and Alan Smith, went for the same ball. They jumped for the ball. Kilban's head caught Smith's head, no intent, it appeared anyway, and Steve Bennett handed the red card to Kevin Kilban. Newcastle win by 1-0, but mysterious refereeing.
Michael Owen, the goal scorer for Newcastle, who are unbeaten so far this season. All the results just about in. Time for Tim Gudgin to confirm today's final scores.
First off, the Barclays Premier League. Bolton Wanderers 1, Everton 2. Fulham 3, Tottenham Hotspur 3.
Seem to have lost the classified football results at the moment. We'll return to them as soon as is possible. Carlton, it's been an interesting afternoon. Liverpool really looked the business so far this season.
They have. I mean, it was a harsh lesson for Derby, and it all started around with a Stephen Bywater error when they were doing ever so well at a game plan. And then once Liverpool get ahead of steam, they've got good players, they've got a good system, all the squad of players. So I know Rafael Benitez likes to rotate, but all the players that come in know the system.
Derby conceded 15 goals so far this season. Now we can return to the classified football results.
Yes, Ray, let's start again. Bolton Wanderers 1, Everton 2, Fulham 3, Tottenham Hotspur 3, Liverpool 6, Derby County 0. Manchester United and Sunderland have an evening kick-off. Middlesbrough 2, Birmingham City 0. Newcastle United 1, Wigan Athletic 0. Reading 0, West Ham United 3. The COCA-COLA Championship, Colchester United 2, Burnley 3. Coventry City and Preston North End have an evening kick-off. Crystal Palace 0, Charlton Athletic 1. Norwich City 1, Cardiff City 2. Plymouth Argyle 0, Leicester City 0. Queen's Park Rangers 0, Southampton 3. Scunthorpe United 3, Sheffield United 2. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Bristol City 1. Stoke City 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0. Watford 2, Ipswich Town 0. West Bromwich Albion 2, Barnsley 0. Coca-Cola League 1, Bournemouth 0, Port Vale 1. Brighton and Hove Albion 3, Southend United 2. Bristol Rovers 2, Nottingham Forest 2. Carlisle United 1, Cheltenham Town 0. Gillingham 2, Walsall 1. Hartlepool United 4, Oldham Athletic 1. Leeds United 1, Luton Town 0. Leyton Orient 2, Northampton Town 2. Millwall 1, Huddersfield Town 2. Swansea City 1, Doncaster Rovers 2. Swindon Town 1, Crewe Alexandra 1. Yeovil Town 1, Tranmere Rovers 1. League 2, Accrington Stanley 0, Peterborough United 2. Barnet 2, Bradford City 1. Bury 1, Brentford 2. Chesterfield 2, Wycombe Wanderers 0. Dagenham and Redbridge 1, Lincoln City 0. Macclesfield Town 0, Darlington 0. Mansfield Town 4, Stockport County 2. Notts County 1, Morecambe 1. Rochdale 3, Milton Keynes Dons 2. Rotherham United 1, Chester City 1. Shrewsbury Town 2, Grimsby Town 1. Wrexham 0, Hereford United 2. The Blue Square Premier, Altrincham 1, Aldershot Town 2. Crawley Town 1, Burton Albion 1. Droylsden 1, Grays Athletic 2. Ebbsfleet United 0, Stevenage Borough 1. Farsley Celtic 2, Northwich Victoria 1. Histon 2, Salisbury 0. Kidderminster Harriers 4, Exeter City 0. Oxford United 1, Halifax Town 1. Torquay United 2, Stafford Rangers 0. Woking 1, Forest Green Rovers 1. Clydesdale Bank Scottish Premier League, Dundee United 2, Falkirk 0. Hibernian 1, Inverness Caledonian Thistle 0. Kilmarnock 0, Aberdeen 1. Rangers 4, Gretna 0. IRN-BRU Scottish Division 1, Clyde 1, Dundee 2. Morton 0, Queen of the South 1. Partick Thistle 0, Hamilton Academicals 3. Stirling Albion 3, Livingston 3. Scottish Division 2, Ayr United 2, Alloa Athletic 0. Wrekin City 1, Cowdenbeath 1. Peterhead 4, Berwick Rangers 3. Queen's Park 2, Wraith Rovers 5. Ross County 1, Airdrie United 1. And the Scottish third, Albion Rovers 2, East Stirling 3. Arbroath 4, Elgin City 0. East Fife 3, Forfar Athletic 0. Stenhousemuir 0, Montrose 4. Stranraer 2, Dumbarton 0. The Welsh Premier, Aberystwyth 2, Welshpool Town 3. Carnarvon 1, Connors Quay 1. Llanelli 1, Newcastle Druids 0. Llangefni Town 0, Rhyl 3. Newtown 4, Portmarnock 2. The New Saints FC 6, Castlereagh 0.
We'll hear the views and opinions of Carlton Palmer, Les Ferdinand and Garth Crooks on today's performances in a moment. Here's the league tables 4 Saturdays into a new football season. And in the Barclays Premier League, Liverpool lead the table for the first time since Rafa Benitez took charge, and it's a throwback to the mid-80s with Everton just behind on goal difference. The Merseyside dominance could be short-lived though. Chelsea need only to avoid defeat at Aston Villa tomorrow to regain top spot. Newcastle's late win moves them up to 5th. Reality bites for Derby County. Just 1 point from 5 games represents their worst start to a Premier League season. Bolton are back in trouble. A 4th defeat out of 5 sees them slip to 19th. Reading are one of 6 clubs on 4 points, with Sunderland playing Manchester United later this evening. Let's take a look at the COCA-COLA Championship. Watford are the new leaders after beating Ipswich 2-0 at Vicarage Road. Newly promoted Bristol City continue to prosper. They won at Sheffield Wednesday. Coventry play Preston in today's late game. Sheffield Wednesday are now the only side in England with a 100% losing record. Queen's Park Rangers were beaten 3-0 at home to Southampton, while Barnsley lost at West Bromwich Albion. Can we look at the top of League One? Coca-Cola League One. Leyton Orient's 100% start to the season ended today, but a point keeps them top of the table. The 4 teams immediately below them all won. Carlisle stay second, while a third successive win for Hartlepool lifts them to third. Leeds United are the only side in the division to have won their opening 4 games, yet they're still rock bottom with -3 points, courtesy of the 15-point penalty imposed on them before the season started. Walsall have lost their last 4 games in all competitions, while Northampton haven't won in 6. Oldham also lost, but Gillingham earned their first points of the campaign. And in Coca-Cola League 2, Shrewsbury sit top after beating Grimsby 2-1 at their new Meadow ground. Chester stay second after picking up a draw at Rotherham, while Darlington were held by Macclesfield. Accrington dropped to the bottom after defeat to Peterborough. Congratulations to Dagenham and Redbridge, who got their first Football League win today, beating Lincoln 1-0. Barnet picked up maximum points against Bradford. In the Blue Square Premier League, unbeaten Torquay United continued to lead the table as they seek an immediate return to the Football League. Stevenage Borough also won to stay a point ahead of Cambridge and Aldershot. 4 clubs are still waiting for their first win. Stafford's defeated Torquay from bottom, while Norwich are also there on goal difference. Northwich, sorry. Altrincham and Droylsden both lost at home. And in Scotland, the Rangers kept up their 100% record with a 4-0 victory against Gretna at Ibrox. Hibs are up to second after beating Inverness at Easter Road. Celtic are in action at St Mirren tomorrow. Dundee United rise to 4th thanks to their win against Falkirk. The bottom, Gretna, remains slightly better off than pointless Kelly Thistle. Hearts face Motherwell on Monday night. Aberdeen are up to 8th after winning 1-0 at Kilmarnock. Managers are emerging from their dressing rooms. We'll hear what several of them have to say in the light of today's results after the headlines for the day's Barclays Premier League matches. Liverpool are top of the table for the first time under Rafa Benitez as the Reds hit hapless Derby for 6. Spurs caught on camera. A late goal earns Fulham a point in a real thriller at the Cottage. Jolene Lescott heads Everton's winner of Bolton as the Toffees keep pace with their Merseyside rivals. Middlesbrough banished the Blues. England winger Stuart Downing wraps up victory as Birmingham suffer their 3rd defeat of the season. Craig Bellamy is majestic at the Majeski, scoring 1 goal and making another as West Ham extend their 100% away record this season. Slog on the time for Newcastle against 10-man Wigan, but Michael Owen scores his first league goal for 20 months to win the game with just a few minutes to go. It's been quite an afternoon. So, Liverpool top of the table for the first time under their manager Rafa Benitez. Let's hear what the Liverpool boss has to say.
Rafa, congratulations, top of the league for the first time in England. How's that feel?
Thank you, but I think that it's just one day. It's important to win, it's important to score 6 goals, but it's just 3 points and it's a long way.
Was that the complete Liverpool performance today?
I don't think so. I think that the first half we mixed some opportunities. The second half, when we scored the second goal, and after the third goal, the game was over, and then we were controlling, but we need to score in the first half.
Babel's goal took the breath away. It was a fantastic effort.
Yeah, I think so. He showed the quality that he has. No?
And Torres, the both of them actually, how are they settling into English football, do you feel?
I think it's okay, no? Both are scoring goals, are playing well, and then at the end, I'm sure that they will need a little bit more time, but I'm happy now.
A standing ovation for Jermaine Pennant. Just assess his contribution.
Yeah, it was really good. I changed him because he had a little bit of pain in his groin, and then I prefer don't take any risk, but he was playing well. He was beating players, getting into the box. I think he's improving.
How important was it just to go about this professionally? Because there was always a chance that you think, well, it's only Derby, we can take it easy.
Yeah, we knew that Derby was a team with a very good team spirit, and then we needed to do a professional job, try to play well and score goals and win.
How close do you feel Jermaine Pennant is to an England call-up?
I think it's closer now. This week it will be impossible, but maybe next time because he's playing well.
Just let me ask you about Steven Gerrard. Missing today, he's got this broken toe. What is your message to Steven?
Well, there were the opinions of Rafa Benitez. 606 is the platform for opinions on any football-related subject. You can phone, text or email the programme. 7:15 start on Radio 5 Live. You can get access to 606 via the BBC Sport website. Full details on all today's football on the BBC Sport website too. All the results, the goal scorers, the tables and previews on tomorrow's matches. So, headlines for today. What will you be looking at on tonight's match of the day, Garth?
Well, I thought some fantastic goals, first and foremost, but quite a controversial decision by Steve Bennett at St James's Park. Watch out for that.
Carlton, what hit you from today's action?
I was impressed by Middlesbrough. I think Birmingham have got problems defensively. Disappointed again to see Middlesbrough ground empty, but I thought they played very well today.
And Les?
It would have to be Liverpool. I think for a few seasons now we've questioned whether they'd be title contenders, and I think after that performance today they've really put themselves in the shop window and said, look, we're here, and you look at the strength of their squad, you know, they're here for good.
Yeah, it was quite an afternoon. Just about to say goodbye to BBC One viewers. More debate and discussion and more post-match reaction from Premier League managers is coming right up. Press the red button and follow the links to stay with us here in the Final Score studio. 10:35 start for Match of the Day. This is where we close on BBC One. It's bye for now.